Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 5 of the course. Last week here, going into week 5. And I'll try and keep this real short. My topic this week is what makes you happy. I try to come up with a topic every week, and sometimes, it's a little difficult trying to come up with something that might apply. But some, I seen something the other day, and that this kind of gave me this idea about, what makes you happy, or do what makes you happy versus, you got all these other motivational type approaches. But this is something that is probably it's pretty important because, it's what you do for the rest of your life, from here forward, and what you've done in the past. So doing what makes you happy. Uh, you got to love what you do also. It's not just being happy, it's got to be something you love doing, you like doing, uh, or what you're going to be doing. I mean, maybe, along those of us that are older have the benefit of age, of experience. Maybe we've done things that we didn't necessarily want to do, but we had to do it. But, you got that vision of where you want to go and what do you want to be doing that makes you happy. And so all of you are, you're working on college, you got a goal set that you're going to try and do something that you're going to like doing. And unfortunately, our society, we have a thing called status and class, and people are sometimes obsessed with materialism and possessions and money versus happiness. And sometimes people, I mean, get discriminated against, or you feel you're discriminated against because of who you are or where you came from. So there's different situations that apply, but it's also an excuse. All right, because there's lots of examples out there of people who had adversity and different things going against them, but they still kept going. And I'm not saying you don't have something that's holding you back, but it's still, dream, have a dream, have a goal, to get to where you want to go for something that's, gonna make you happy. It does not matter the industry, the career, the type of job people have. I mean, that's a personal opinion. Like I say, some people look down on different occupations. To me, it shouldn't matter if it's something you like doing. There's nothing wrong with being you can fill in the blank, the person that collects the trash, the plumber, the pizza delivery guy. I use the pizza delivery as an example because when I was working in Domino's, there was a lot of guys there that were drivers, been drivers for years. They loved what they were doing. There was nothing wrong with that. So it just depends on what you want to do, and hopefully you don't have the attitude that one job is beneath another job. Um, but anyway, so there's some people that are professional students. My case, I got my MBA when I was like 57, and then a few years later, I got my PhD when I was like 60. So there's no time limit or age limit to what you can do. Like I said, being whether you're a student, a pizza driver, or some sort of manual labor that you work at in construction or something, or the executive or the teacher. Like I transitioned to being a teacher after the military. And you got the military too. So there's different things in life you can do. Use myself as an example. Back in 1975, I had to because of family issues, I had to drop out of high school. I joined the army. I started in the infantry. Did that for a couple of years. Then I got bored with that. And, oh, let me find something else. So I went into DMPs. I showed up at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, seen people falling out of airplanes and said, oh, I got to go do that. And so I did that too. And a few years after MPs, I wanted to find something else to do. And I went into Special Forces. So, still jumping out of airplanes, but I also got to go to what they call military freefall school, you know, jump out of airplanes, do things like that. I even got to be on a world record jump one time over in Guam. We jumped from 37,250 feet, which at the time, I mean, that might not be the record no more, but at the time it was, so it was pretty cool. Uh, but aside from that, being in special forces, we also went, spent a lot of time, in my case, spent a lot of time in Thailand, Philippines, places like that working on what we call medical missions. It wasn't all about, playing army and war and all that stuff. I mean, the other thing that we did, and they still do today, is go to countries, do medical missions where, you go to the villages, spend a month there, doing medical on the locals, to include dentistry, even on the kids, things like that. So I got to go do things and go places. So my point there is, it was something I enjoyed doing. Didn't do it for the money. All right, that's the other thing. Again, a lot of people are, preoccupied with money, and money's important, of course, but it's not. It don't make you happy necessarily. After the Army, I retired. At the Army, transitioned. I worked for Domino's. I was running the corporate pizza stores in Seattle for a few years, and after that, went to Philadelphia, and I enjoyed that. And then I went and became a franchisee, and that became a family affair. So, like there on the right side, it's me and family. We all worked the stores. But after a couple of years there was an economic downturn there in that part of the country. Some of you may remember that. And so we ended up having to just shut down. So um, and that was a good experience for teaching because it taught me working in Domino's taught me the business side of life. What to do, what not to do, how things actually work in the real world. So have those things going on. Then of course I transitioned into teaching. So here at Brian, been doing that for some time now. And again, not doing it for the money. It's something I like doing. And also, as all of you know, I'm one of those obnoxious grandparents. So I love grandparenting too. So something I like doing. Like it so much, I turned my adventures with the grandkids into a book series. So, my point is, doing what makes you happy, and whatever it is, uh, I believe you can get there. You may have obstacles on the way. Things might get in your way. You might get delayed a little bit. You might just want to do things because you just like to do it. I know people who are like professional students. They just love learning and doing something for themselves. So it just depends what you want to do. All right, so that will do it. Do what makes you happy. All right, last week of the course here in corporate finance, and again, I know I've mentioned before, this is probably the most difficult course. So you're just about through with it. Last week here, you got your project going on, you got a quiz, homework, and discussion. So several of you have been in touch with me, so we'll just keep going back and forth if you need any help or anything. This last week here, you got two chapters. You got chapters 15 and 16 having to do with short-term assets and financial planning and control. So uh, again, doing well. I know some of you are struggling, but don't let that deter you or upset you or anything. I know sometimes a lot of us, we beat ourselves up if we don't feel like we're doing good. But like this particular course and the analogy I use of the auto mechanic and the driver, you notice, the purpose of courses like this is to familiarize you, where you have a basic understanding, not to become the accountant or become the mechanic, but to understand what's going on. So, hopefully you're getting, that out of this course. So, all right. With that, I'll let you go. I'll give you my little test question here. If you know the course, you've already seen it, but 8-year-old, what's he up to there? Something with nature maybe. And then, 4-year-old, what's he up to? So, all right. With that, I'll let you go. So, have a great week and starting the next term next week. So we'll see you there. If you got any questions or anything, just get in touch. And otherwise, again, have a great week. Take care.